Stadium. What a way to finish this college football Saturday with a Pac-12 showdown. It's number 17 Utah and 14th ranked Arizona State. The Sun Devils getting ready to take the field out of the famed Tillman Tunnel, looking for their 4th consecutive win following that blowout loss against UCLA. And with that bounce back, the Sun Devils find themselves right at the top of the standings in the South Division, battling with Utah with 5 teams, all within 1 game of that top spot, all within 1 game of moving on to the conference championship game in December. We move on inside the booth. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Button joins us in a moment. We move into November, the final month of the season, and as we do so, things start to clear up some, and this becomes evident, Joey, that this game essentially is an elimination game in the Pac-12 South.
Well, yeah, not only is it an elimination game in the Pac-12, this becomes a play-in game for both of these teams into the national college football discussion. Look, with the difficulty of each team's remaining schedules, should either of them win out, there is no doubt in my mind that they will be representing the Pac-12 in the first ever college football playoff. But in order to do that, they have to play to their strength. Arizona State has their do-everything quarterback back. Taylor Kelly, in his 2nd game back from injury, needs to play extremely well, but he's going to be doing it against a defense that has sacked the quarterback more than any team in college football. Led by number 8, Nate Orchard, Utah's defense is an absolute terror.
The Utes, one of the good surprises in college football. Who would have thought that on this first day in November it'd be Arizona State and Utah to wrap up the day in a huge Pac-12 showdown? The kickoff comes on the other side of the break. Utes will try to move to 4-0 on the road this season. Have made a habit not of getting wins in hostile environments this season, but it's been a while since they've had any success against the Sun Devils. 10 wins in a row for Arizona State in this series. You got to go back to 1976 to find the last time the Utes beat the Sun Devils. Let's bring in the 3rd member of our crew now. Here's Chris Button.
Thanks, Joe. Some news and notes and some injuries to give you. We'll start first with Arizona State. Taylor Kelly will be making his 2nd consecutive start. Now, he took a pretty hard hit to the head at the end of last week's game, but he passed all this concussion testing, and he told me that he was not limited at all during practice this week. Also, found out just a few hours ago that starting defensive lineman Demetrius Cherry will not play in today's game. He has been suspended for violating team rules. Now, on Utah's side, there are several key injuries, starting first with wide receiver Dres Anderson. He is out for the season after having knee surgery earlier this week. And starting cornerback Eric Rowe and starting safety Tevin Carter, both out for today. Now, Coach Kyle Whittingham does not release injury details, but neither Carter nor Rowe made the trip here to Tempe.
All right, Chris, we're ready for football. Top 25 matchup with first place in the Pac-12 South at stake. Utah won the toss and deferred, so it's Arizona State to start with the football and the touchback at the 25. Give us 3 things we need to know.
Well, Arizona State, Taylor Kelly. After a rusty game back last week against Washington, I've never seen a coaching staff with more confidence in a young man. Jalen Strong is the guy he's going to be looking for on the outside. This guy is NFL talent. He saved the season for Arizona State a couple weeks ago against USC with 10 catches for 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. And on the other side, we mentioned him earlier, Nate Orchard. And how about a young man named Jared Norris? Watch this guy, number 41, flying around for the Utah Utes.
One of the top defenses in the Pac-12. They lead the nation in sacks. They're number 2 in the country in tackles for loss. Arizona State gets it going from the 25, and it'll be a Kelly pass play out of a protected pocket outside to Cody Cole. He breaks out of 1 tackle but can't get away from Brian Blecken. Got 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. So there's Taylor Kelly, who saw his first action in more than a month in miserable conditions last week.
Off. During the play, he must remain out for 1 down.
Brian Blecken has to come out losing his helmet on that play. But the coaches set pretty much perfect storm, going up against a heck of a defense in Washington and then having to deal with 20-mile-per-hour winds. Now tries to deal with this Utah defense. An off play action on 2nd down. A good feel in the pocket, on the money at midfield. It's Gary Chambers, who had the game-winning touchdown catch in that game against UW last week. First down across midfield.
Well, Joe, that was the type of play that was missing last week in the huge wins at Washington. Those are the type of plays that you need to make against this Utah defense to keep them on their heels and keep them from rushing that passer like they do so well.
First run play, DJ Foster trying to get outside and does. Blecken comes over to combine with Orfei on the tackle. Got 6, 2nd and 4. Welcome those of you joining us from out in Texas to this Pac-12 matchup, a top 25 matchup to finish the day. First place in the South Division at stake between number 17 Utah, number 14 Arizona State. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Budden, and DJ Foster into the clear. Inside the 15, Arizona State's offense clicking on drive 1.
Joe, you're going to see a heavy dose of DJ Foster today for Arizona State, and you're going to see him come at you from a bunch of different places. This time out of the backfield, running the ball better than he has the last couple weeks. You'll also see him motion out of the backfield into the slot. You'll see him line up as a wide receiver. This guy needs to have the ball in his hands.
Lines up in the pistol for this first down play. Kelly under pressure. We'll throw that one into the ground as they try to set up the screen to Foster, and it'll be 2nd down. This Utah defense, #1 in the country in sacks, and Arizona State last week gave up 7 of them against Washington. But on this first drive, Kelly's been well protected.
Well, yeah, and I like the way that they've moved him around a little bit. A play action a couple plays ago, hitting the big play down the middle. That time setting up a screen with a drift. Arizona State is going to move Taylor Kelly around to avoid him getting sitting in the pocket and taking a big hit.
True freshman Kalen Balazs with a seam inside the 5, and it's first down and goal. Only 4 touches over the last 2 weeks for Balazs, but coming off his best week of practice, and the staff said he'll have a big role in this one. Quickly back on the ball. DeMario Richard in the game at running back, and on the slant through the hands of Jalen Strong. 2nd and goal.
Joe, that is not a ball you see Jalen Strong miss. This guy is one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. Last week, while he was held in check for most of the game by Marcus Peters, he did have a catch exactly like that for a touchdown, which really helped seal up the game for Arizona State.
It's a fun matchup to watch between those two guys. A couple of first-round NFL picks likely. Be interesting to see how Utah defends him tonight with Eric Rowe, their top corner, out. And one of their starting safeties, Kevin Carter, out as well. On 2nd and goal, Balazs enters the backfield. Zone replay. It's Balazs inside the 5, and it's 3rd and goal.
Joe, I asked offensive coordinator Mike Norvell, how often does Taylor Kelly have the ability to read that play? You know, you saw him riding with the running back going into the hole. He carries out his fake so well around the corner. He's actually reading the unblocked defensive player. Should I give it? Should I keep it? That time he gave the football trying to establish that run. Don't be surprised to see Taylor Kelly pull that ball out and keep it later in the ball game.
From the 3-yard line in the opening possession for Arizona State. Out of an empty set. Kelly throwing the fade and out of the reach of Strong. So it's 4th down. Once again, Arizona State struggles to get a touchdown once entering the red zone. Now 2 for their last 6 in that category. So they'll bring the field goal team out on this first drive.
And Joe, you got to wonder if there's a little bit of rust still there with Taylor Kelly. That ball was not what we've come to expect from him as a quarterback. He really didn't even give his receiver a chance to make that play, threw the ball out of bounds. I would like to see Taylor Kelly shake off that rust as this game goes on.
St. Gonzalez with a chip shot to begin the scoring. First team all-conference kicker nails this one, and it's 3-0 Arizona State. Utah to get the ball for the first time in this big top 25 matchup when you come back. ASU best team in the Pac-12 on their opening drive. They've now scored on 7 of their 8 opening drives this season. They capped this 10-play, 72-yard drive with a field goal. Todd Graham, boy, talking to him yesterday, is he having fun or what coaching this team? Said it's the most fun he's ever had in his time as a coach. Loves this group of kids and really respects this guy, Kyle Whittingham, who's in his 10th season as head coach. 10 years ago this January, his first game as a head coach was co-head coaches with Urban Meyer in this stadium in a Fiesta Bowl win over Pitt. 20th season overall at Utah. That is Kalen Clay, arguably the nation's top return man. 4 return touchdowns this season. They'll try to angle the ball away from him, but this one goes right to him 2 yards deep, and here comes Clay. Good coverage from Arizona State. That's been a focus this week. They swarm him at the 15, and that is where Utah will begin its first possession. Joey, give us 3 things we need to know.
Well, number one, Travis Wilson. Last year, 16 interceptions through only 9 games, but this year, not a single one. However, he only has 1 game over 200 yards passing, but that's all right because he's got a guy named Devontae Booker behind him. 166 yards per game in his 4 Pac-12 outings. On the other side of the ball, how about a young man, Liu Mokiola? This guy has really responded since the changes after the bye week. Last 2 games, 15 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks, and a forced fumble. He is all over the place.
It's corresponded with his defense turning things around. They start with a fake to Booker and throw the bubble screen to Keelan Clay, who is shut down by the nation's leader in solo tackles, Demarius Randall.
Joe, you're going to see Demarius Randall all over the field today. Just reads Travis Wilson's eyes out to the flat, drives the ball out to Clay there, and like you said, nobody better in the country at making a solo tackle in space.
So Travis Wilson is back in the starting role last week after coming off of the bench against Oregon State. Led him on that game-winning touchdown drive in the final minutes against USC. 2nd down, 13. First carry, Devontae Booker with a seam to take it to the 20. And tackled by Lloyd Carrington. Booker, the nation's 5th leading rusher since taking over the featured role last month.
Well, yeah, you're going to get a heavy dose of Devontae Booker today. But what Utah needs to do is they need to find a way to balance that. Booker only takes you so far. You have to have a quarterback who can push the ball down the field and capitalize on the success of the running game.
Now, Booker has carried it more than any other player in the country over the last month. 3rd down and 5 on Utah's first drive as this crowd comes alive. Arizona State brings pressure. It's picked up, so he's got time to hit Kenneth Scott. They spot him with enough for a first down. Team leader in receptions, has his first of the game. Who will it be to step up with Drez Anderson out for the season?
Well, Joe, what I love here is the quick, decisive throw by Travis Wilson. A nice route there by Kenneth Scott, creating some separation, and just enough separation because Travis Wilson anticipated the break. Good job, nice relationship between quarterback and wide receiver there.
On 1st and 20, trying to get a chunk back with Booker, who takes Carrington for a ride to the 34. Got 7. 2nd down and 13. Booker, the first-year JUCO transfer, who's averaging more than 160 yards rushing over his last 4 games.
And Joe, he has been 1 broken tackle away from breaking a couple runs here. Arizona State, as we all know, they love to bring pressure all day, every day. But what that does is it puts a lot of stress on your secondary to make open field tackles. Devontae Booker, a couple times now, has just been a step away from breaking a big gain.
Mokiola shows blitz from the near side, then backs off. And Booker into the teeth of the defense gets shut down. Boy, Salamo Fiso off to a good start in this one, combined with Marcus Hardison to set up 3rd and long.
Well, Joe, a couple games ago, Arizona State's coaches went back and reevaluated what they've been doing on defense, and what they decided to do was add a little bit of size to their defensive front. What that has done is it's enabled them to keep the offensive linemen off of their linebackers, and consequently the linebackers can run, they can scrape, they can make the big plays that Todd Grahams loves to see from his back players.
You know, Arizona State will tee off here on 3rd down and long. They bring 5. Wilson under pressure and sacked back inside the 30 by Marcus Hardison, and it's 4th down.
Joe, just a great individual effort by Marcus Hardison. You'll see him coming off the edge here. Coach Keith Patterson told us he's probably their most athletic D lineman, wants him to be a little bit more violent, a little more aggressive. How about that, Joe? Getting aggressive around the edge.
And so, with Hardison's 5th sack, sets up the punt from one of the nation's best, with Kyle Middlebrooks back to receive this one from Tom Hackett. Rugby-style punt. Across his body. And a bounce at the 30 and roll. This guy is a true weapon inside the 15-yard line, and a punt of 59 yards for the Australian. Arizona State, which took it down the field, got a field goal on its opening drive, will come back out on offense in this big Pac-12 South showdown after this break. Great student support from the largest student body in the U.S. Their team up 3-0, getting the ball back at the midway point of the first quarter. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Budden at Sun Devil Stadium. An efficient first drive, good balance on that opening drive. Back to work from the 15. Yeah, with a hole, it's DeMario Richard, the freshman, across the 35 and tackled by Marcus Williams.
Joe mentioned it on their last drive. Taylor Kelly is reading the unblocked man here, and until Utah stops the running back, he's going to continue to give it.
Motion him across the formation here. Kelly will get it to him, but he's immediately shut down. That was Justin Thomas up from his nickelback spot to drop him after a yard, 2nd and 9. Foster, the only active player in the country with 1,500 rushing yards, 1,500 yards receiving. Junior out of nearby Scottsdale, Arizona. They put him in the slot for this 2nd down and 9 play. Foster in motion, takes the fake. Kelly with his eyes downfield. Cameron Smith has it across the 40 for an Arizona State first down.
Joe, what a nice job there by Taylor Kelly getting through this progression. Number 1 is in the flat. Number 2, dragging across the formation, and number 3 to the outside, waits for it to develop, throws a ball out to the sideline where only his receiver can catch it. Nice job by Taylor Kelly.
And Smith with his first catch in 2 weeks, missed last week's game with a leg injury. They're excited about number 6, sophomore out of Coppell, Texas. Here's a read play. Kelly then flips it outside to DeAndre Lewis. Close to another first down. That's another dimension to that read game. There's a flag down at the end of the play. Jack Folliard, our head referee, to let us know.
Pass interference on the offense. Number 6, blocking downfield, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that erases a nice gain. So you were talking earlier about reading the defensive end. Then you read the next man with that bubble.
Well, yeah, the evolution of the old triple option has gone from 3 backs in the backfield to 1 back and using the outside receiver as the pitch man. Watch, you're going to see the bubble coming out as the pitch.
Pass interference because the ball was touched behind the line.
That was the point I was going to make, is if that bubble man gets beyond the line of scrimmage, it sets up the opportunity for an offensive pass interference. That time he was on the line of scrimmage, which makes it legal. Nice block instead of a pass interference.
Kelly, good feel in the pocket to step up and then duck down. Jared Norris with his 2nd tackle, the Pac-12's 3rd leading tackler, and a guy that Kyle Whittingham says he thinks is the most underrated player in this conference.
Oh, I completely agree. I love what Coach Whittingham said about him, is that you can tell coming to practice is his favorite part of the day. This guy plays linebacker like he is just having fun.
Kelly wants one-on-one and throws it out of bounds for Strong. That's something that those two develop such a good feel for, but still trying to get that rhythm back.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You have to wonder if Taylor Kelly's absence may have thrown things off a little bit. This is the 2nd time we've seen him throw a fade out of bounds, and not just out of bounds, but a good distance out of bounds where he doesn't even give his receiver a chance to make that play. Those are the things that at this point in the season you need to be polished at if you're going to be making a run not just for the Pac-12 championship, but to be talked about for the National College Football Playoff.
So 3rd down and 9, and Utah showing middle pressure and bringing it. Thrown behind Foster, who is wide open. So Kelly with a bullet behind Foster that makes it 4th down, and they are in Zane Gonzalez's field goal range.
Joe, watch this. You're going to see all of the Utah defenders coming in a clear lane, opening it up behind. Taylor Kelly had to get the ball out of his hands. DJ Foster needs to get his head around just a little bit quicker. Those are the things. That's the timing that you miss when you're out of the ball game, when you're out of the lineup for so long.
So Gonzalez, who hit a chip shot on the first drive, now attempts from 45. 11 of 13 this season for the reigning first teamer. And perfect. 2 drives, 2 field goals for Zane Gonzalez. The pads already cracking. Late night here in the desert in a top 25 matchup between Utah and Arizona State. Fox Sports 1 College Football is presented by K Jewelers. Couple of drives for Arizona State, much like last week, having to settle once they move the ball well. They've run 19 plays, but have settled for 2 field goals.
Well, and the drives have stalled really on timing issues between Taylor Kelly and DJ Foster and Taylor Kelly and Jalen Strong. Those are the things that at this point in the season you need to be sharp on to take advantage of the blitzing opportunities from Utah's defense.
Taylor Kelly told us yesterday that last week felt a little bit like week 1 when you come into a season and that timing just isn't there yet. You miss more than a month. It's going to take some time to get that rhythm back.
Well, especially when you come back in a windstorm and a rainstorm like it was in Seattle.
Conditions a little bit better tonight in Tempe. Perfect night for football as Kalen Clay brings it out. And so far, Arizona State up to the challenge on special teams against one of the nation's best returners. So top 25 matchup. First place in the Pac-12 South up for grabs tonight in the desert. Right now, back here at Sun Devils Stadium in a 6-0 game with Arizona State in front. And a battle at the top of the Pac-12 South. One of these teams will take control of the division for the time being. Both battling through just brutal stretches of their schedules. With a Booker on first down, makes a nice cut, runs through a defender for a few, and it'll be second down. Let's go back to that interception on fourth down.
Joe, look, here's what they're trying to do. Clear out Jared Norris here. Clear out Gianni Paul right here. Instead, both of those linebackers stay put. They sit there and wait for DJ Foster to come in. One of them drives the receiver, the other one catches the ball. Nice job by the linebackers of Utah, staying home, staying in coverage, and not getting fooled by the clear-out routes.
Gianni Paul, who had that pick, a little banged up after the play. On second down and 7. Option play with Wilson making a nice cut for a first down into the arms of Randall. Utah finally getting something going on offense. Paul really took a good lick, by the way, on that interception.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised that he came off the field. I mean, we heard the crowd say it. You know how you hear that audible gasp, the ooh from the crowd. We got that on that hit.
First time Utah has moved the ball into Arizona State territory today. Big time pressure. It's picked up, but Wilson gets happy feet and dances away with the ball knocked out of his hand by Longino. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Travis Wilson there was trying to throw what's called a sluggo route, a slant, fake slant, and then go up the sideline. Kenneth Scott instead pulled up on his route, had the DB over the top of him, didn't feel like he could get by him. He and Travis Wilson were not on the same page. Kenneth Scott wanted him to stop him with the throw. Travis Wilson wanted him to keep going. Instead, he bails out and throws the ball out of bounds.
Second down and 10 at the 48. Okiola bringing pressure near side. They run towards it. Booker bounces off one man and another for a first down inside the 40. Devontae Booker with a gain of 12.
Joe, and that's what can happen if you bring pressure like this. You run the risk of the running back or any ball carrier for that matter getting by the pressure. Great job of individual open field tackling earlier in the ball game. That time Booker slips by the first line of defense. Big gain.
From the 36 now. Back to Booker. Not much room this time. Fiso with another tackle after 2 yards. Arizona's got a 7-3 lead in the Rose Bowl on UCLA at halftime. Here it's a 6-0 game, and Wilson with his eyes downfield heaves it out of bounds. Good coverage from Arizona State. Demarius Randall was on Kalen Clay, 3rd and 8. Travis Wilson putting together a bit of a drive here. 3-year starter at quarterback. Junior from California. Looking at a 3rd down and 8. Sun Devils bring pressure. Wilson double clutches and throws the crosser to Clay, but he's wrapped up and pulled down by Randall. Got less than a yard, and Clay slow getting up. They're already without Drez Anderson, their leading receiver, who was hurt against USC last week and lost for the season. Clay appears to be in quite a bit of pain. Fox Sports 1 College Football is presented by Cade Jewelers, and Utah will send Andy Phillips out there for a 50-yard field goal attempt. One of the best in the country from distance. He's made 9 field goals from 40 or deeper. This would match his season long. The guy they call Automatic Andy nails it with distance to spare. And Utah's on the board, cutting the deficit in half. My goodness, he killed it.
What a weapon he is. I mean, how many times have we seen ball games come down to last-minute field goals? Coaches having to make a decision to get a few more yards because they're not quite in field goal range. This guy could kick it anywhere on that side of the field.
I think that thing was good from 60.
Yeah.
Phillips send this one away. Kyle Middlebrooks back into the end zone. Will take a knee. Taylor Kelly back out on the field trying to get things going. 1 for his last 7 for 3 yards with an interception against one of the nation's top defenses. First down from the 25. Mario Richard with the hold on first down. Richard explodes across midfield. Blecken chases him down after 32 yards.
And Joe, we saw it last week against Washington. DeMario Richard with the big explosive run to put him into the red zone in the absence of DJ Foster, who has really not been carrying the load. Young player DeMario Richard, Kalen Balaj, and senior DeAndre Lewis have picked up the slack. That time, huge explosive play to get him into Utah territory.
That allows them to move DJ Foster into the slot like they do for this first down play. This time the end crashes, but then recovers. Great play by Nate Orchard to crash down and then pull out and get Kelly.
Well, there aren't too many players in the country who can both crash down on the running back, like we talked about earlier, and then recover to make the play on a quarterback like Taylor Kelly. Now, Taylor Kelly can run the football. That just says what a great athletic player Nate Orchard is.
3-year starter having a career year. Second leading tackler for this team. Second in the country in sacks. Second down and a throw for Kelly. Steps up in the pocket. Has Jalen Strong. Cutting across the field. Inside the 10, it's first and goal. Marcus Williams gets him after 33 yards on a strike from Kelly to Strong.
Well, and Joe, Taylor Kelly has struggled up to this point in the ball game. I think Coach Mike Norvell said it best when he said, I can't explain it. This guy's just a winner. At big times, he makes big plays. He delivered a strike to Jalen Strong. He couldn't help but catch that ball. Great throw, great catch, wonderful play by Taylor Kelly.
And a first down and goal for Arizona State, trying to get in the end zone for the first time. Richard bounces off contact and gets a yard. Third time that Arizona State has moved the ball inside the Utah 30. They've come away with only 2 field goals.
Well, just about to say, there's the key. You got to score touchdowns when you get inside the red zone. Utah is not a defense that gives up a lot of points. And so when you have an opportunity this close, you got to take advantage of it.
Kelly under center this time. Straight drop back. Throw into the end zone. Strong has got it. And holds on for an Arizona State touchdown. And then acts like he's been there before.
Joe, watch it here. Taylor Kelly with his eyes down the field, holds the safety off, and then drops the ball out into the vacated area. Defender's back is to it. You got no chance against a guy like Jalen Strong. Nice throw, nice catch. Hey, we talked about the timing. Maybe it just takes a quarter. He just needed one more quarter to get that going because he seems to have it right now.
Couple of completions to Strong on the drive. One from 33 yards to set up first and goal. They go back to him on second and goal for the touchdown, his 8th of the season. Tane Gonzalez on for the extra point. Under the hold of Mike Bercovici to make it 13-3. That happened quickly. 5 plays, 75 yards. It started with a DeMario Richard run of 32 yards. Then Jalen Strong with a catch of 33 yards. After one more run, they go to the air, and Strong beats Hatfield for the game's first touchdown. Kelly hit Strong for a touchdown, his 66th career touchdown pass, capping a 5-play, 75-yard drive. And passes Jake the Snake for 3rd in school history in that category.
Yeah, Jake Plummer and Taylor Kelly, actually really good friends. I talked to Jake today, and he could not say enough good things about this young man. No ego, has the respect of everybody in the athletic department. So he's the type of guy who would hold the door open for anybody at any time. And you know what I loved? He told him to go play like a spud. Not a stud, go play like a spud, because they're both from
Idaho guys.
There you go.
He's from Eagle, Idaho, just outside of Boise, which is where Jake Plummer is from. Similar type players. You see the size, not much different. Kelly has a couple of pounds on him. Similar games for those two guys.
Yeah, very scrappy, both of them. But Jake said that's kind of where the differences end, because Taylor always has a cool head. Jake got a little bit of hot-headed in him sometimes, but Taylor is the kind of guy who always keeps things in perspective, always has the cool head. He's the guy who keeps everybody settled out there.
Jake Plummer doing some broadcasting work these days. First down from the 32. Travis Wilson hands it off to Booker with a solid first down game. This is who Utah is, running the football with Booker.
Yeah, they are going to give you a heavy dose of Devontae Booker. It's interesting to hear what Dave Christensen said, their offensive coordinator, said about the style of football they've played. Our philosophy, he said, has changed a little as we figure out who we are. We started up tempo, but now we've become a run it, grind it out type of football team.
Booker again made a nice cut in the zone play, but got stopped just short, it appears. Longino is there with Boateng. And 3rd down and a yard. This Arizona State defense, which struggled so much over the first month or so of the season, but only 3 points allowed in the last 17 drives. First down carry here. Booker staying on his feet across midfield. Devontae Booker. Yes, Todd Graham about this Utah team. That's the first guy that he brings up. I think he's one of the top backs in the country.
Well, ever since he stepped foot in a Pac-12 stadium, this guy has been electric. He's got the speed to get around the edge, and he's got the power just like that to run right through you. Devontae Booker, this guy can do it all.
Play action for Wilson. Immediately feels the pressure and throws it downfield with an adjustment. And a catch at the 32. First one of the game for the 6'5" Tim Patrick.
Joe, nice job by Travis Wilson here, keeping his eyes down the field. A couple times now he's been forced from the pocket, and we've seen him throw the ball out of bounds. A smart play, but doesn't get anything from it. This time he keeps his eyes down the field, finds his wide out on the sideline. Good job of delivering the football.
Booker spins away from one, then goes down. Lloyd Carrington from his corner spot. And Utah will use its second timeout.
Utah.
One left for the Utes. We take a quick timeout with them.
Timeout.
Utah off to its best start as a member of the Pac-12, looking for a 3rd win over a ranked opponent in the last month. On 2nd and 12, they bring pull in motion. Wilson feels the pressure and has room to take off, using those long strides to get out of bounds. That Arizona State defense closed those windows quickly, and he got just 2.
Well, and Joe, Arizona State's defense has Utah guessing. I thought it was hilarious there. Every wide receiver was pointing at somebody, telling Travis, hey, he's coming. No, he's coming. Both sides of the ball were pointing. Nobody ends up coming. Utah is guessing. They don't look comfortable out there. Travis Wilson is always sliding from the pocket, trying to find an open lane. They've got to shore things up front if they're going to have a chance to score consistently here.
Arizona State brings 6, and they run it with Booker off the right side. Gets popped across the 20. Jordan Simone comes up and makes the tackle. To make it 4th down, they'll run that clock down and then send Phillips out.
I love Jordan Simone. This guy, a walk-on from Washington State, transferred here to Arizona State again, a walk-on. Coach Patterson told us every day he shows up like he's had a couple of Mountain Dews, and he just says, coach me. He's got the attitude, he's got the toughness. This guy is a football player.
36-yarder for Andy Phillips. And he nails it again. Perfect again. And it's a one-touchdown game as we go to the break in this top 25 Pac-12 South showdown. After this break, we'll send you back to Los Angeles for the AT&T Fox Sports Live halftime with Jay and Dan. 13-6, Arizona State at halftime. Back here in Tempe in this top 25 matchup. And a defensive battle so far. Utah trying to get to 4-0 on the road this season. They'll need to do it in come-from-behind fashion, down 13-6 as we move into the second half. Moment ago, a couple of legends here at Arizona State put into the Ring of Honor. Eric Allen, Darren Woodson, both played in the 80s. Woodson into the 90s in his career at ASU. Welcome back inside the booth, Joe Davis, Joey Harrington. So Arizona State in 5 of their 6 drives moved the ball inside the Utah 36 and only have 13 points.
Well, yeah, that's the key, is Arizona State has not been able to take advantage of the opportunities they've had on offense, but it's their defense that has been, well, let's say surprisingly dominant. Todd Graham has been known. He has the reputation of bringing pressure from everywhere. He brings it up the middle. He brings it off the edge. He brings it from the safeties. He brings it deep in their own territory. He's bringing it from everywhere tonight, and what it's done is it's created a feeling of, well, not being comfortable for Travis Wilson. 6 of 13 for only 30 yards through the air tonight. Arizona's defense has kept this football team in it as their offense has not been able to turn drives into touchdowns.
Kalen Clay back to return this one. Back into the end zone will take a knee. And Chris Button talked with both coaches. Chris.
Yeah, let's start first with Utah. Talked to Kyle Whittingham, and I asked him what he thought of Travis Wilson. He said he's playing good. We just need to find more production in the passing game. The key to this second half is going to be finding a counter to their blitz. I asked him, would we see Kendall Thompson this second half? He said, there's a chance. Now for Arizona State, Todd Graham said he's obviously really happy with his defense. He said on offense, he thought that Taylor Kelly's playing well. He said we need to score more points. We can't rely on field goals. So I asked him, how do you do that? He said, execution. Just easy like that, Joe and Joey.
Yeah, it's simple, right? This drive starts from the 25 for a Utah offense that had less than 100 yards in that first half. Downhill with Booker, who had 66 of the 97 Utah yards. As we look at our Geico first half stats, 5 quarterback hurries for the Utah front 7. Arizona State getting it done in a different way. It's not the D-line, it's the pressure they bring with those 7 quarterback hurries.
Well, yeah, that's created 30 yards passing through the air. And let me say this right now, Kendall Thompson probably would not have done much better than Travis Wilson did in the first half. Utah simply did not protect their quarterback against the pressure of Arizona State.
Tim Patrick with a team-high 3rd reception, pulled down by Jordan Simone. And a first down for Utah.
Now, if you're Utah, this is a great job of adjusting to pick up the pressure, allowing Travis Wilson the time to sit in the pocket and find his receiver coming across the formation. Tim Patrick, a big target. We talked about it earlier. Needed to take advantage of the height, the size of these wide receivers.
Downhill with Booker, and that offensive line opening up some holes on the first drive of this second half. Simone with yet another tackle. He's got 6 total now, as Booker gets 8 more.
Well, bringing this total up to 80 for the game now. I mean, this is just a heavy dose of Devontae Booker. And if you're Utah, just keep riding it. Just keep doing what you're doing well.
My goodness, guess who? Jordan Simone again, dropping Wesley Tonga, who's 6'4", 245.
You think you got a Mountain Dew at halftime?
It looks like it. It sets up 3rd and 1. Utah off to the best start as a member of the Pac-12 at 6-1, trying to get a 3rd win against a ranked opponent in the last month. Down a touchdown, first drive, second half, 3rd and 1. Option play, Wilson with a seam, and Travis Wilson using those long strides to get inside the 10. First down and goal, Utah. Simone ran him out of bounds after 32 yards, his longest run of the season.
And Joe, there was nobody deep for Arizona State. They committed everybody to the line of scrimmage to bring pressure, and once Travis Wilson got by that first line of defense, there was nobody there to tackle him. Nice read on the option play, cutting it upfield for a big gain.
Wilson keeps again with a crashing end and gets inside the 5, and who else but Jordan Simone with a tackle. 2nd down and goal. It's pretty much one-on-one right now. Wilson against Simone.
Well,
find each other somewhere.
Yeah, Booker against Simone, so let's call it 2-on-1.
Right. Off play action. Wilson under pressure. Got rid of it. It's a touchdown. Devontae Booker into the end zone. And what a drive for Utah to begin half number 2 within an extra point of a tie game.
Joe, and what poise by Travis Wilson sitting in there in the pocket against, guess who? Jordan Simone coming in, making a big hit on him. He sits, he waits, he draws the defender in, then drops it over to his running back for a touchdown. Fantastic play in the pocket by Travis.
And what a catch by Booker after almost putting it on the ground. And the extra point from Phillips. Out of the hold of Hackett. Will come eventually. He now gets lined up. And Chase Dominguez will snap it now. Tie game. What a drive for Utah to begin this second half. And Devontae Booker with Wilson feeling the pressure into the end zone to tie the game in this top 25 matchup. Utah had 97 yards of offense in the first half. They go 75 yards on the opening drive of the second half to tie the game at 13, and then once again find themselves in a close game. And the difference this year for Utah has been that they've won those close games, with the exception of that Washington State game that they led by 13 in the fourth quarter. And they win with 34 seconds on a Phillips field goal at the Rose Bowl. A week later on a Thursday, double overtime, they beat Oregon State. And then last weekend with 8 seconds left, Kalen Clay with a touchdown catch from Travis Wilson to beat USC. And a team that has lost so many close games over the last 2 seasons, both 5 and 7 seasons, has found a way to pull out wins in those tight ones this year. Greg, fun day for football fans in the state of Arizona. First time since the mid-'80s, both Arizona and Arizona State have been ranked and facing another ranked opponent on the same weekend. Kalen Ballage comes in motion, takes the fake, and Kelly goes the other way for a short gain. Hunter Dimmick got him from behind after 3 yards, and it'll be second down. Kelly, after a sloppy start, out of rhythm, started to settle in.
Quarter to start the game, you said it, he just looked out of rhythm, throwing balls that his receivers really had no chance to catch. And then in the second quarter, something snapped. Maybe he just started feeling comfortable again, but he was throwing strikes, and this Arizona State offense is moving.
Kelly gets sacked back at the 12. Viliceni Faunuku with his second sack of the season. And the nation's #1 sack team gets home here.
Watch Viliceni right here. Nothing special except a good old-fashioned bull rush. Just pushes his way into the backfield. Drives the legs, get home. Great individual play by Viliceni right there. Wonderful, wonderful play to get into the backfield.
First member of his family to graduate from high school, and now here he is in a big Pac-12 game getting a sack on Taylor Kelly. Third down and 22. Kelly out of the shotgun against a 4-man rush. Well protected this time. Keeps his eyes downfield and takes off. Needs the 35, gets the 25, and Utah forces the punt. The second half couldn't have started any better for number 17 Utah.
Well, right, that play on second down set up the situation on third down. Look, those are the type of plays that Utah creates. They coming into the game, they lead the country in sacks, and those individual efforts set up third and long situations, which really were unattainable for Taylor Kelly in there once he got outside of the pocket.
First time they've had to send the punt team out of the field with the nation's top punt returner back in Kalen Clay, who has it at the 31. Clay to the outside, gets a block. Now with room across midfield to the 48. Kalen Clay, who's taken 3 back this season, left the field with an ankle injury earlier today. And either out of breath or banged up again after that return. 6 minutes into this second half that's been dominated by the Utes so far. Fox Sports 1 College Football is presented by K Jewelers. Arizona State led this game 13-3. Utah's offense was doing nothing, but over the last 2 drives, something's changed.
Well, the emergence of Devontae Booker, I mean, you just keep feeding the beast, and eventually he's going to put the team on his back. 80 yards rushing in this ball game, but let's not overlook what Travis Wilson has done with his legs as well.
Booker on first down across the 40 with another chunk. Longino with a tackle after 7.5 yards for the first-year JUCO transfer. Originally signed with Washington State out of high school, but failed to qualify academically. Played a couple of years of JUCO ball, was set to enroll in Utah last year, but again, an academic non-qualifier because of a missing math credit. They finally got him on campus this offseason. Took over the starting job at the end of September. One of the best in the nation since. Back-to-back carries and back-to-back big plays inside the 25. Utah has stolen the momentum in this second half.
Well, Joe, and they've taken advantage of what Arizona State is doing on defense. They've done it all day. They're bringing pressure. In the first half, Arizona State was able to make the tackles to keep Utah from springing the big play. This time, Travis Wilson gets free. Devontae Booker gets free. Utah is breaking through those tackles on the first line of defense.
Wilson now gets sacked back at the 35 by Carrington off of the corner blitz. Utah was going tempo, and they just got that speed shut down there.
Well, that's what you do if you're an attacking defense, is you know you're going to give up a few chunks, but then you're going to get one back. Nice job off the edge by Carrington, beating the one-on-one block. And coming up with a big sack, because now this puts Utah deep behind the chains on second and nearly 20.
They still go to Booker. Keeps those legs churning to get back to the 30. Up to the 29 and a gain of 5 to make it third down and about 15 for Utah.
You sound surprised when you said they still go to Booker. I mean, I think it's good. Yeah, it's going to be second and 20. It's going to be first and 15. It's going to be second and 6. You're still going to Booker. I mean, that is the MO tonight. That's what's working. You're going to have to ride this guy all the way to a win if you're Utah.
Over 100 yards for the 5th time in his many Pac-12 games. Third down, 15. They go back to Booker. Not necessarily trusting Wilson. And Boateng stops Booker after 2. But they've got one of the nation's best kickers. They certainly trust him. Heavy dose of Booker, and here comes Phillips.
Well, I was going to say, in a game where points are at a premium, you don't want to risk a turnover, a negative play. You know that Arizona State is going to bring pressure to try and knock you out of field goal range. I don't necessarily disagree with that call. Run Booker, maybe get 4 or 5 more yards, set up a closer field goal.
2 for 2 today. Made from 50, made from 36. Low snap was put down and then drilled through. Andy Phillips 3 for 3 and his 11th make this season from beyond 40 yards. A guy that had never played football in his life before last year, was a member of the U.S. ski team, said, I'm going to give it a shot. And boy, has Utah been the beneficiary of that decision. Utes in front for the first time in Tempe. 16-13 Utah, and it's still Halloween weekend. So we still got some costumes out there. As Utah's taken its first lead of the game, scoring on 4 of its last 5 possessions. And that guy right there, Andy Phillips, with 3 field goals tonight. Kyle Middlebrooks will take a knee. And a first down and 6. Back to the ground. It's Kelly keeping it. And bounce into the outside with a first down run up to the 43. Orchard pushes him out.
Well, Joe, that time Taylor Kelly had even me fooled. I was trying to figure out where the football went. But they've run it all day. The option play, you leave the end man on the line of scrimmage unblocked, and you force him to choose. Do I tackle the running back or the quarterback? That time he chose wrong, and Taylor Kelly kept it around the edge.
Here's Foster. Blecken can't shut him down. Able to turn the corner. getting 4. Jared Norris ran him out. Great beard Blecken's got going. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We didn't comment on that.
Define great.
Pretty shaggy, pretty long beard. Foster again, this time Nate Orchard throws him down. Minimal gain, 3rd down inside of a half-minute, 3rd quarter. This Arizona State offense, which moved the ball almost at will until they got inside the 35 or so in the first half. Tougher sledding here in the second half.
Well, and that's the key. Arizona State was forced to kick field goals in the first half, and consequently it put them within striking distance of Utah here in the second.
Against a 4-man rush. Kelly's well protected. Throws the slant and it's broken up. Orfei with the coverage on Strong. 4th down. And it brings this 3rd quarter to a close.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Top 25 matchup heads into the 4th. Number 17 Utah has scored 13 in a row and has a 3-point lead over Arizona State. So Utah off to the best start in its Pac-12 history at 6-1, looking for a 3rd win over a ranked opponent in the last month. Arizona State, one of the toughest stretches in program history, trying to get a 4th straight win following that blowout loss to UCLA. Utah, one of 2 teams in the country, Marshall being the other, that has led going into the 4th quarter in every game this season. One team comes out for Arizona State. Kalen Clay back to return it. Keep it away from him. Bounces out at the 15-yard line. That's where Utah will have it. Up 3 when we come back. Here's Devontae Booker to begin this drive. Stops and starts and powers his way to the 20. It's been a heavy dose of Booker in this second half. 124 yards out of the 209 that Utah has.
Well, how about this guy? And he put Devontae Booker in the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, all he's done in every game of his Pac-12 career is go for over 100 yards. I mean, if Utah continues to win and he continues to run the ball like this, there's no reason he shouldn't be in the discussion.
Booker again. Carrington's ready for him. And the corner with a tough tackle on a gain of 1, 3rd and 3.
Well, Coach Graham asks his secondary to make those tough tackles. Again, if Carrington doesn't bring down Booker, he's got nothing but green grass in front of him. A nice open field tackle, keeping Booker inside of him, where even if he didn't make the tackle on his own, his teammates had the time to recover and help him out.
On 3rd and 4. They go to Booker again, and he's pulled down short. Jordan Simone was in the middle of it. 11 tackles now as he combines with Boateng and makes it 4th down and 1. Punt team out of the field as Arizona State's defense comes up with a stop.
Well, Joe, and as much success as Utah is having with Booker on the ground, there comes a point where you're going to have to play action off of that. You can only go to the well so many times against a defense like Arizona State, who's so aggressive. They know where the ball is going. I mean, you're setting up a play action, a perfect play action opportunity here. You need to take advantage of it and call that play.
Hackett. Another good high punt. And a fair catch taken at the 26 by Kyle Middlebrooks. This Arizona State offense led by Taylor Kelly, who gives the staff so much confidence. Back out of the field, down 3 when you come back. 8:41 left. Taylor Kelly in the offense, back to the field with a 1st down from the 26. Foster motions out. They give it to Balaj for 3.
Joe, while Taylor Kelly has not been sharp, hasn't been his normal self for the majority of this football game, the way the coaches talked about him, I would not be surprised to see him take Arizona State down the field and score. I mean, that's what he's done in his entire career. He's a gutsy player. He's not flashy. He just gets things done.
Foster again, the motion man. And they give it to Richard with a hole for a 1st down. Up to the 42. Marcus Williams with a tackle. Yeah, you talk about them moving the ball down the field late. They did it last week as well against Washington.
Well, it helps when you run the football like this. Demario Richard with a nice job right up the middle. Great vision finding the hole. Nice little shake to get a few extra yards. What this does, though, is it sets up Taylor Kelly in the play action. He moves so well, you can get him out on the edge and take advantage of how well you're running the football.
Straight drop over the middle. It's Foster breaking a tackle and making a cut into Utah territory for close to a first down. Justin Thomas with a tackle. They give him enough.
Joe, we've talked about Devontae Booker all night. It's Demario Richard running the football for over 100 yards, which has freed up DJ Foster to really do everything. He's been extremely effective out in the slot. That time makes a nice move, gets inside, finds the zone. Taylor Kelly gets in the ball.
And Foster in the backfield for this first down play. Kelly over the seam. It's caught by Chambers. Inside the 20, his second catch of the night goes for 37 and a first down.
And Joe, that is exactly what I was talking about last drive. Neither team has pushed the ball down the field tonight. Why not? With the defenses that are playing so well, take a shot, try and make a play down the field, get a little momentum. Nice throw and catch by Taylor Kelly, and Gary Chambers picking up a key first down and a big play, creating some momentum for Arizona State.
Here comes Foster. Dimmick forces him deeper. Norris pushes him out. Lost a yard. Second down as we go back to that long completion to Gary Chambers.
Joe, nice job by Taylor Kelly recognizing that Utah was playing a defense with two safeties. They were both split wide, which left the middle of the field open. You got a big target in Gary Chambers, 6'4" wide receiver, throws the ball high, allows him to go up and get it. Nice play and a great job of keeping the defenders on his back shoulder and giving Taylor Kelly a place to throw the football.
Richard tackled by Orchard. 3 or 4 and third down and long coming up for Arizona State. In a 3-point game with 6:20 left.
Well, and again, Arizona State has the ball inside the red zone. Can they convert it into a touchdown? They've had to kick field goals all night with the exception of the touchdown pass to Jalen Strong in the corner. That's the difference in this ball game. Arizona State, when they've gotten into the red zone, has not been able to turn it into touchdowns, and consequently, Utah has a 3-point lead right now. They need 7.
Utah shows pressure and brings it. Kelly hit as he throws, and it is tipped and incomplete. Hatfield had a chance to pick it off after Orchard drilled Kelly, making it 4th down.
Wow. Last time it was Justin Thomas. This time it's Dominique Hatfield dropping the interception. But what creates it is the pressure right up the gap by Utah, bringing the house. Taylor Kelly knows that he has one-on-one outside, tries to give his All-American a chance to go up and make a play. He got hit as he threw it, consequently was put behind him. You gotta make that play if you're Dominique Hatfield.
And so here's Gonzalez, 2 for 3 today. This for the tie. 16 all with 5:47 left to go. And first place in the Pac-12 South up for grabs. What a finish we got coming for you. Back to Tempe, 30 seconds. 16 all with 5:47 left. Special teams have been important. Gonzalez with 3 field goals tonight. And now Kalen Clay goes back to return this kick from Garut. One of the nation's top return men will have a chance from his own 4. Here's Clay, bounce into the sideline, and good speed to take it close to the 40. Special teams again showing up.
Such a huge part of this ball game. The Utah special teams has given the offense such great field position all night. This time the Arizona State coverage team loses contain. You cannot let the returner get to the outside, especially a guy like Kalen Clay, who's one of the best in the country.
So the Utes find themselves in another close game. That's been the difference this year for a team that's gone 5-7 each of the last 2 years. They're winning these close games in 2014. Trying to get another nail biter. They start with a boot into the flats. Tonga up to midfield. Only his third catch of the game after a huge night against USC last weekend.
Well, and there it was, Joe. While it wasn't a big play down the field, the play action to Booker forced the backside of the defense to collapse, trying to attack the run, and allowed Tonga to get out in the flat. Those are the plays that you need to make late in the ball game. Take advantage of the good things that you have done early in the game to set up those type of plays late.
Now Booker 132 yards on 29 carries, so the attention on him. He gets it on second down. Keeps the feet churning. Gets 3, 3rd and 2. Mocchiola, Longino combining the stop. We wind inside of 5 minutes in a tie game.
Joe, don't be surprised to see Utah run the option here. Leave a guy unblocked on the edge. Take advantage of Arizona State's aggressive defensive play and put it in the hands of Travis Wilson to make the right decision.
He's had a great night running the football. 3rd down and 2. It is the option. He flips it off. Booker corrals it and gets a first down. A one-handed catch off of a wide pitch from Wilson. Booker cuts it up into the arms of Longino to convert 3rd down.
Joe, what a nice job by Travis Wilson attacking the defensive end, forcing him to commit to tackling the quarterback, pitches to the outside to Booker, who's uncovered. Those are the types of plays. While Travis Wilson hasn't been spectacular all night, those are the types of plays he's made late in the games to help Utah win.
Looking short side, throwing the speed out. Kenneth Scott gets a few. Now they'll say incomplete, didn't get a foot down, so 2nd and 10 with Carrington in coverage.
Joe, this one looked close to me. Let's take a look here. All he's got to do is tap that toe. Nice decision by Travis Wilson getting the ball out. Where's his toe? Knee or... Oh, boy.
It's a catch. So far, letting him go. And that's a distant memory now. 2nd and 10. Booker falls forward for 3 into the arms of Hardison. And another 3rd down coming up for Utah inside of 4 minutes now.
And Joe, if I'm Utah here, I'm moving the pocket. I'm getting Travis Wilson out on the edge. While Devontae Booker's been fantastic all night, 138 yards on the ground, Travis Wilson also has 42 yards himself. This young man can run the football. Get him on the edge, give him the run-pass option, and force Arizona State to make the wrong decision.
Booker gets cut down at the line of scrimmage by Fiso. Salamo Fiso, and a monster first half, comes up with a stop to make it 4th down.
You know Arizona State's coming. You know they're bringing pressure. They've done it all night. They'll do it for the rest of the season. Just a nice play by Salamo Fiso, getting in there and making the tackle in the backfield.
You okay with the play call?
I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, your defense has been playing spectacular all night. If you punt the football deep, you're banking that Arizona State is not going to take it 90 yards for a game-winning score.
Hackett on to punt. One of the best in the country at pinning him deep. And he's done it again. Masterfully down to the 5 by Tom Hackett. The 14th time this season to lead the country that he's pinned a team inside the 10. Kelly pulls it off of the zone read. And the first down to the 17. Williams with a tackle after a dozen.
Again, a great decision on the option, leaving Nate Orchard unblocked. You see him collapse down with the running back. Taylor Kelly pulls it out and has the speed to get upfield. This guy's just a gutsy football player. He's the kind of guy you want behind center late in the football game.
Foster motions out of the backfield. Utah brings heat. Foster catches in stride, and Blecken sheds the block to drop him at the line of scrimmage.
Wow. Blecken was blocked. That guy was taken care of. Then all of a sudden, he gets free and makes that tackle. That was a great individual effort by Blecken on the outside because Arizona State had a numbers advantage. They had everybody blocked. Great football play outside.
On second down, Kelly to the sideline. Caught by Strong. Right over Hatfield for the play of the day for the Arizona State offense. 26 yards on a first down.
How many times is this guy going to make plays that save Arizona State's season? Mike, incredible. The perfect spot to throw this football. Jalen Strong, 6'3", 215 pounds, just overpowers Dominic Hatfield at 5'10", 170, goes up and grabs the ball. Wonderful throw and catch.
They throw the speed out, and Foster with 2 seconds gets it up to the 46, getting him a bit closer. I think that's what USC thought they would do. On that play there, they threw the Hail Mary. And with 2 seconds, here is number 2, Mike Bergavici. That Hail Mary game winner, they drew it up a little bit differently than most teams do. They had Strong cut back to the hash mark instead of throwing the ball to the corner. Do they do the same thing here?
Watch for the ball to go right down the middle of the field. Most teams throw the Hail Mary to the outside of the numbers. Watch him throw it down the middle.
He loads up and lets it fly. This one is intercepted. And we go to overtime in this top 25 matchup with first place in the Pac-12 South up for grabs.
End of regulation, overtime.
Sure was fun, though. Todd Graham pushing all the buttons to get the ball back to the offense there, giving him a shot.
This one didn't quite have the height.
No.
That the one at the Coliseum had.
Because he's coming in cold, like you mentioned?
Exactly. I mean, there's no way that he can come in cold and throw a ball the way that he did in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago. Great effort, though. You got to love it trying to recreate the magic.
First overtime game of the season for Arizona State. Utah is 1-0 in overtime. We go to overtime, tied at 16. One of these top 25 teams are going to huge win. Back after this. And after Arizona State won the toss, they take defense first. Travis Wilson and the Utah offense out of the field first. Booker in the pistol, 140 yards on the ground today. And they start with him straight ahead. 2 overtimes against Oregon State. He had 2 touchdowns in that win.
You're going to get a heavy dose of Devontae Booker in this overtime. I mean, you're not going to risk putting the ball up in the air if you're Utah right now with the success that you've had on the ground. Look, right now, you've got a guaranteed field goal. Automatic Andy is sitting there waiting to put this thing through the uprights. If you can get Devontae Booker to break a run here, you set yourself up for a possible touchdown. Be ready to give the ball to number 23.
On 2nd and 6. It's Booker again, feeling his way to the 18. He's 3 yards short. It'll be 3rd down and short on Utah's first possession of the overtime.
Well, Joe, now what you've done, you've run the ball twice. You've set yourself up for 3rd and short, and you've opened up the playbook a little bit. Maybe you put a play action. Maybe you get Travis Wilson on the edge. Maybe you run the option. 3rd and 3 affords you the opportunity to be a little bit more selective with your play calling here.
How about a straight drop back? Wilson feeling pressure. Eyes downfield, will heave it out of bounds. 4th down. Pressure coming from Mokiola. The field goal team comes out.
And Joe, I'm not so sure I agree with that call. You've only thrown the ball for 57 yards all night. Booker's got 147. Wilson's got another 43 on the ground. At the very least, you should have run the option. Give one of those guys a chance to pick up 3 yards. That's been your bread and butter from the start of this football game. Now's not the time to abandon it.
Phillips, one of the best in the country, attempting from 35. And he pushed it. But there's a flag down coming from the back judge.
Prior to the snap, Utah called timeout.
Wow. So he'll get another chance.
Utah.
My goodness.
The kip gets pushed here, but you see the flag coming up from the bottom. That's because the play clock was running out. However, the line judge comes running in.
Timeout per
Coach Whittingham saw it, noticed
Utah
it, called timeout right there.
Any further timeouts in this overtime period?
Way to be aware of the situation, way to be in control by Coach Kyle Whittingham. That may have saved a football season right there.
So Phillips with another try. He missed it again. (17 for 19 on the season). And with 2 opportunities to put Utah in front, misses both.
And it was just an overcorrection. The first time he missed wide to the right. The second time just overcorrected and missed wide to the left. Oh, your heart goes out to that young man. Such a tough position to be put in. So much pressure riding on his right leg. But you know what, Joe? This is what teams are made of. This is what a good team is all about. I guarantee you that Utah defense is saying to themselves, it's time for us to come up with a big stop, because that's what they've done all night. These type of teams come together in these situations and protect each other's back. When somebody makes a mistake, somebody else picks up the slack.
Anything will do it for Arizona State. They start on the ground. Richard getting 4 yards to the 21. Remember, Arizona State has an all-conference kicker in Zane Gonzalez. The feel for Phillips, who's been so good in his 2 years as a Ute. 2nd down and 6 for Taylor Kelly in this offense.
And Joe, I'm going to be surprised if I see this football in the air. I mean, you're going to run this football 3 times and you're going to kick a field goal to try and win it.
Richard again. Fighting for a few. 3rd down and short. Gonzalez getting ready. First team all-conference kicker last year. Likely will have a shot to win it in overtime.
And Joe, in comes the big package. The jumbo group. Look for just either a QB sneak or maybe try to get the ball to the hash that Zane Gonzalez likes.
They go to Foster, tries to bounce outside, and Dimmick's ready. So you got to figure that Gonzalez prefers the right hash, because that's where they take it. And set up what'll be a 37-yarder for the win and for first place in the Pac-12 South. One all-conference kicker just missed his attempt. Another will try and put it through to end this game. The sophomore from Texas, officially from 36. And he hooks it in! Arizona State wins! Arizona State in first in the South. First career game winner for Gonzalez.
One guy makes it, one guy misses it, Joe. A hard-fought game all night, and it came down to the right leg of 2 young men.
19-16, Arizona State beats Utah in overtime to take control of first in the Pac-12 South. That does it for Joey and I. Jay and Dan with Fox Sports Live.